My next two guests are going to be there to see it all happening, but they'll be taking their own packed lunch. We have Davinder Prasad, General Secretary of Caste Watch UK, and his plus one, his daughter, Reena Dipti Anobil, and they've bagged an invite, and deservedly so. Davinder and Reena, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Reena, tell me, how excited are you?
Yeah, we are really excited. I mean, it's really, I'm just kind of the plus one. It's about my dad, really, and he's the one that's been invited. So I'm just kind of going along with him.
But once you'd found out that he'd been invited, were you jockeying to make sure he picked you?
Well, my dad asked me, actually, and then it was funny because I was at one of my sister's houses, and then she was like, oh, so how come you've been asked to go? You know, I want to go to this. And I was like, okay, you can go if you want, but you do realise that it's a lot of standing around, and, you know, the fact that, you know, you mentioned the packed lunch and everything, and then she kind of went off that idea quite soon. But so, you know, it was just me to go. But I am excited. I'm really excited about it, actually.
Okay, so Davinder ji, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Nihal. By the way, let me just make a correction, Nihal. I used to be General Secretary of Caste Watch UK when you came to my house to make a documentary.
Yes, exactly.
Now I'm General Secretary of an organization called BOPA, British Organization for People of Asian Origin.
Ah.
Yeah, so we work to connect, you know, communities together from Asian continent into British society and promote British identity.
Well, that's amazing. So is that why you were invited, not because of Caste Watch UK?
Yes, as a General Secretary of BOPA. Right? We do a lot of work, you know, to for various actually things in British society, you know, reaching into Indians, Muslims, Bangladeshis, you know, Sri Lankans, all the community that come from basically Commonwealth countries, you know, and that probably, I don't know, I'm not complaining, Nihal. Whatever reason they have used to invite me, I'm so excited to attend this royal wedding.
Were you aware at all that you were going to be invited, or does the invite just come through and then you open it one day and say, what?
Oh, yeah. I think that I mean, you know, ordinary mortals like us don't expect to be in royal weddings. When it does happen, you have to read it 10 times to make sure your name is on it. So that was my case. I mean, I was very surprised and happy to be invited to such a grand event, Nihal.
But you say ordinary mortals, but of course, they're human beings too. They're no better or worse than any of us, are they? Otherwise, it's just similar to the caste system where people believe that they are somehow superior just because of birth.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that you need to probably, you know, in spite of the fact that you get invited to such, you know, grand events, you need to keep your feet on the ground, you know.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I made that comment, ordinary mortals. Right?
Yes, right. I see what you mean, yes.
But it is a very exciting opportunity for me to be a part of this fantastic event, which is going to bring the whole world together. I mean, you were just speaking to another speaker that royal family is not only going to get connected with America, but an American coming into royal family, and you just mentioned that Prince Charles is going to walk with her. I see that as a fantastic thing. I mean, under the situation and circumstances Meghan was in, it couldn't have been a better probably gesture from royal family to say, okay, we are there for you, because she's going to be a part of the royal family, right? So I think that whatever is happening, and Meghan joining royal family, and I just read in the newspaper yesterday that Prince Harry and Meghan are going to be the youth ambassadors to the Commonwealth countries. I mean, how great is that? And they are going to do an amazing work in linking up Commonwealth countries and other countries, you know, with the British society, I would say.
It is. Do you feel like that, Reena, that it is a sign of a change in royal family?
Yeah, I think it is. And I feel like the younger crew, if you like, in the royal family are just more appealing to people because they seem a bit more down to earth. And I think they're down to earth, but they're still trying to do, use her role to do good things and, humanitarian work, charity work. And I really like that. And I think, like, for me, like, from the time I heard Prince William and his wife on Radio 1 talking about how they watch Homeland and just, like, sounding really normal, I just thought people can connect to them more.
What do you think, Rena, about her giving up her job after getting married?
I mean,
because she's someone, of course, who's been very much at the forefront of women's rights and equality.
She has, yeah. And there is that. And I'm myself, I just feel a bit like you shouldn't have to give up anything. But then, especially like when you get married and whatever, you don't want to change your surname or whatever, you just keep as you are and go in as you are. But I think that realistically, I don't know how it would be possible for her to do that, because I just think it's such a massive thing to take on, being in the royal family, and logistically it's going to be difficult for her. I don't know. I mean, I don't think she should have to, but maybe this is a natural change for her. Maybe she feels like this is kind of naturally where she wants to go now, like not in acting, but she wants to take on other causes and more humanitarian work, and maybe it's a natural choice for her.
Can I just come in here?
Yes,
now?
Of course, Naji.
Because I know that she has been to India before. Actually, she was engaged to Prince Harry, and did a humanitarian work even in India. So in her new role, Nihal, I think that she will get an opportunity to do that she probably has always wanted to do, and be more effective in being, an ambassador on this humanitarian project.
Yeah, that's true. And even I saw the other day some video of her on Twitter or something from when she was like a little girl, like 11 years old, and she was speaking out then about how women, they should be equal to men, and just like as a little girl to be talking about these things and raising those kind of issues, from then till now. I'm sure that's a big part of who she is as well.
Yeah. I mean, and also as well, of course, there is an assumption that once you join the royal family, you're not working anymore. But anyone who's had any knowledge of the royal family knows that, especially at their age, they're going to have hundreds of engagements to deal with. They're going to be patrons of charities. It clearly seems, actually, that, I mean, you've got Prince Harry with the Invictus Games and the things that he did. And she has been involved in charities for some time, World Vision, I believe.
It makes me sad when I hear people say that they do not work. Right? I think people's perception of work is going to a factory, 8 till 4 o'clock in the evening, and they see that as work, But we need to probably realize that what royals do, they sacrifice their own life. Queen, I mean, if you look at her personal life, all she has done is serve the people throughout her life, That needs to be probably appreciated. People need to probably realize that work does not mean going to work and getting a salary, right? The work that they do probably is much more in terms of importance to when you look at the serving of humanity, right?
What are you wearing? This is the important thing as well. Rena, have you picked what you're wearing? And I'll ask you as well, Davinder, as well.
In addition to my suit, I'm wearing my Lions badge. I'm a member of, a group called Lions Club of Murcia in Coventry. And wherever we go, we take our Lions badge with us, right? So that will be the first thing I'll be looking at, whether I'm wearing my badge. But, you have to be in your best attire, royal wedding, I'm looking forward to it, Nihal. Really excited. And I'm sharing it with my daughter is another thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I think it'll be nice just to experience that together. And back to the question about the clothes. So we know what my dad's wearing now.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like there's certain occasions where you feel like you need to go desi, and I think this is one of them for me. I'll be wearing a sari. I'll be like it's quite bright, so if I'll stand out as like a bright pink and green dot on the TV, you'll know it's me.
Okay, going in definitely wants to get noticed, and we have to know what's in the packed lunch.
Oh dear.
Oh, samosa, of course.
You can't live just on samosa.
We're gonna take food to sustain us the whole day. I was kind of hoping that they might actually give snacks. My dad, you think that there's gonna be snacks or something? My dad's saying, but I don't know. We're gonna be well prepared. We They say that you can take, those folding seats if you want.
Oh, okay.
So we do have some little fold-up seats.
But you've got to be worried with Asian food because it's quite oily.
I know. My sister said, "Oh, why don't you wake up and make paratha?" And I thought, you know what, we're gonna have to leave so early, and I'm gonna have to put sari on. I don't really think that's happening, and yeah, so that's not happening. But we'll have loads of food. We're basically taking a rucksack of food with us, so we'll be fine.
And I've got to be real. It does, have it's a beautiful odor. Indian food, I love it. But we've got to be real. If people are bringing cucumber sandwiches, let's face it, that doesn't smell of anything. Doesn't taste of anything either, but it certainly doesn't smell of anything.
Yeah, we might have to leave the garlic achar at home.
Yes,
I think.
Nihal, I watched a documentary recently.
Yeah.
Queen Victoria.
Yes.
The most famous empress of British, monarchy.
Yes.
She loved Indian food.
She did.
And she brought an Indian cook, from India just to have. So I think it is probably mandatory for us to take samosas and
That's
pakoras
true.
and everything
A
else.
few laddus as well,
So in celebration of Queen Victoria, you will be taking Indian food. That's,
No, it's important to probably remind the royalty, right, that in their wedding we are still eating Indian snacks and Indian food, right?
as Queen Victoria would have loved.
Which she would have loved, yeah.
No doubt. And of course, no doubt there are going to be lots of different races represented in the area where you guys are going to be, I can imagine. I doubt you're going to be the only Asians there.
No, they are actually people from all backgrounds. The British society that exists today, Nihal, will be represented, right? I know some people who are going. And I also know, they are doing a brilliant work for the communities that they live in, right? So I think one good thing that I like about this wedding is that they have ensured that people who attend this, represent the British society, and they also are doing a good work for the betterment and, improvement of the communities that they live in.
Brilliant. Well, look, have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Nihal.
Tomorrow. Don't get any haldi stains on anything. So
try not to.
So eat carefully. I think you don't want that on TV, do you? So don't eat on the train on the way down there. And have a fantastic day. It's amazing. I'm going to be in Windsor as well, but I'm not. I'm not important like you two. I'm out there with the rest of the hordes for the BBC, interviewing various people. So Davinder, Reena, good to speak to you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.